posterior derangement, he's going to keep pushing on that. That's going to start to cause radicular symptoms. That's going to peripheralize his pain, right? He does 10. I say do 10 more just to make sure. Nothing. We do standing flexion. He goes down and feels it right away. Something's going on. So I'll do a straight leg raise. Again, to be really to be a straight leg raise related, a positive straight leg raise related to a sciatic problem, adverse neural tension, it can't be below 35 because the sciatic nerve doesn't become tense until you get to about 35. So it's somewhere between 35 and 70. Over 70, it could be hip, it could be SI, it could be lumbar spine. So 35 to 70, that's pretty much sciatic range. Okay. Now, there are some sensitizing things you can do to get a sense of whether or not you're really incriminating the nerve or not. So I can come to the point where he just starts to feel his pain. You're looking for a nerve-type pain, tingling, subjective numbness, shooting, sharp, stabbing, anything deep, throbbing pain that's nerve-like. I drop him back where he doesn't feel it, then I dorsiflex his ankle. It could be hamstring too, right? It could be hamstring that's tight. So I drop him back just a little bit before he feels it, and I dorsiflex the ankle. If he feels it now, I reproduce his neurologic pain, his radicular pain. That points more towards a sciatic problem, to adverse neural tension. Or I go up to where he feels it, drop back where he doesn't feel it, and I'll say, put your hands behind your head. And I'm going to dorsiflex. Now flex your head up to your chest with your hands. So I'm stretching the dural tube from above and below. The dural tube is connected to the dural nerve root sleeve, the sleeve that surrounds the nerve root. So if I have him lift up from above and he tenses the dural tube, it's going to tense the nerve root from above. This will tense the nerve root from below. And if that increases his pain, again, that points to a sciatic nerve problem. And there are names for all these. Okay, put your head down. There's Braggart sign. We call this Braggart's, B-R-A-G-G-A-R-D, Braggart sign. Lift up your head. They call that Soto Hall, S-O-T-O-H-A-L-L. The chiropractors like throwing out these names. Positive Soto Hall, positive Braggart. Down. Then this is the CRAM, C-R-A-M, or the bowstring sign. Put pressure right under the popliteal space, and you catch the sciatic nerve posterior to the knee. And it's not just local pain, but it's referred pain. It refers down to the thigh. It refers down the leg into the foot. You press right behind the popliteal space with both thumbs, and they get some nerve-like symptoms, either down or distal. So that's bowstring or cramps. You can do any of that. The other thing you can do is you can do the sit slump test. Sit up, please. Here's good. Okay. This is a great way of really aggressively clearing the sciatic nerve from above down, dural tube, from below up. Common fibular and tibial nerve going up, holding on to the sciatic. So I'm going to keep his head and neck in neutral. I'm going to flex his trunk. This is someone who complains of pain going down the right leg. We're not sure. Is it hamstring? Is it a disc? Is it adherent nerve root? Hopefully you rule out the derangement first. I don't want to be aggravating a sciatic nerve that's under pressure from a disc. So do the knees to chest, do the standing flexion. Make sure you're not dealing with, or supines, knees to chest is the best way. Standing flexion, again, is going to point to the nerve. So you rule out the derangement. You're thinking more in terms of sciatic nerve. So I'm going to flex his trunk, and then I'm going to flex his head and neck. You can play with that movement, see what happens. You can do them at different times. You can play with that. I can have him extend his knee, bend your knee, and see what happens. I can bring his leg out here, and then I can flex his neck, and now bring his leg out. A lot of people at that point, they'll start to really feel it, really tensing the whole dural tube and nerve root sleeve. And the last thing you would do is dorsiflex the ankle. All right? You feel it? And even people who don't have adverse neural tension, when you put that much tension on the whole dural system, they will generally feel something that's not very pleasant. It's more than just a hamstring or a muscular stretch. there's a bit of a neurologic feel to it. Yeah. If you wanted to stretch it, if there was some adverse neural tension, I would take him to the point where he just started to feel it. It could be for some people here. And I would just go on and off, on and off. He feels like down to his back. I would just gently on and off type stretching. It's not 30 seconds with nerve. It's intermittent. Or I would do flex, extend, on, off stretching. Or if he's really not feeling it till the very end, flex, and now on, off. Good. Work with me. Dorsiflex, plantar flex. Good. If you want to get specific to sciatic, tibial, common perineal, line your back. Proximal sciatic involves pretty much the same movement as a straight leg raise. You add a little bit of adduction across, and that sensitizes the nerve a little bit. So I will come up, and then he feels it. Good. Now I'll have him hands behind your head, and work with me. Ready? Stretch, release. Good. Stretch, release. So he feels it. That reproduces his neurologic pain, and then we back off. We don't hold it very long, and we don't push on it very hard. It's a very gentle on-off stretching. Okay? That's proximal sciatic. And then we could do tibial, which would be bring him up in straight leg raise position, where it just starts to feel it perhaps, or drop back a little bit, kind of in that vicinity. Dorsiflex, and then evert. And that will give you the tibial. Dorsiflex and evert. Like so. Tibial nerve, I can do a little adduction to sensitize it. And then gently on, off. Tibial nerve, on, off, stretch. Bring your head up to your chest. With me, good. And relax. And up again. Tibial nerve. Good. Common perineal would be, or common fibular would be plantar flexion, and then inversion, like that. Add a little adduction, plantar flexion, inversion. On, off. Bring up your head. Work with me. Good. And back down. Good. You can do that kind of work. All right? So what's left? Tibial, proximal sciatic, common fibular. Sural nerve is dorsiflexion, inversion. Tibial nerve is dorsiflexion, eversion. Common fibular, plantar flexion, and inversion. So for sural nerve, dorsiflexion, inversion. Add a little bit of tension and adduct. Okay? Or if you're not really skilled with those specific positions, basically you can bring it up, ready, head up, and stretch. Oh, I feel that. And back off. Good. And again, and stretch. So what we're doing is we're stretching the nerve from above down and from below up. There's another way to do this that's less stressful to the nerve. And that's called flossing. And here we're just gliding the nerve. We're not stretching. We're not separating origin and insertion. We're not lengthening it. We're just taking it and we're just gliding it like a dental flossing maneuver. Let me show you that. Sit up again. We can use the sit slump position for that. I can take him here, and then instead of doing this, I can do this. Relax. And now bring him back and do that. Now I'm just flossing. So that's called the slider. I'm sliding one way, sliding the other way. Tensioner would be like this. I'm lengthening. Slider would be taking it one way. Okay, relax. And taking it the other way like that. So I'm just flossing the nerve in one direction and the other. The other one is the tensioner, and now we're stretching it. So you can imagine the slider, the flossing, is less stressful to the nerve.
Is that indirect?
No, it's not indirect. It's just called a flossing or a sliding maneuver. So I can do it here. Bring your head up again. So instead of separating, flex, and I stretch here, I can come up and I can do this. I can go into plantar flexion and now go back. And I am now flossing the nerve. Less stressful. Go back. So going up caudally, cranially, right? And now caudally. Down. Cranial, caudal. I'm just flossing the nerve. It's not stressing it. It's just working on the mobility of the nerve glides. So this is under the category of dysfunction. Dysfunction of the nerve. Sciatic, turn over. Common fibular, sural, tibial nerve. And then there's the femoral nerve. Some people with a higher disc, like Dr. Handrakis had L3-4, he had a lot of pain in the front of his thigh. So that's unusual. 90% of people with nerve root problems are posterior sciatic. But there are people who have a disc a little higher up, and they have their pain going down the front. So once you've reduced the derangement, you want to make sure the nerve has its glide restored. This is the femoral nerve stretch. So the hip is in extension, and you flex the knee. That'll stretch the femoral nerve. So I can, if I want to treat that, I can just go gently on, off, and stretch it that way. This is femoral nerve.
This is just more of a, this is a treatment, right?
This is a treatment, yeah. I diagnosed it. I found femoral nerve test is actually put him in this position and to lengthen the nerve and see if it reproduces his pain. As compared to what was that test? Ellis's test, was it? For Eli's test. For rectus femoris, so you do this, you flex the knee and the hip flexes. That was Eli's test for rectus femoris tightness. This is for the femoral nerve. You stretch it and you see if it reproduces the pain down the front of the thigh, neurologic type pain, sharp, burning, shooting type symptoms, pins and needles. And then once he's ready, once you've gone through your whole sequence, at the appropriate point when the reactivity is down, on, off, stretching. Otherwise, you never eliminate these symptoms. Anytime he stretches that nerve, he has these symptoms return. Not from a derangement, but from adhesions in the nerve, in the connective tissue. You've got to stretch. And there are other things you can do related to the saphenous nerve. I wrote it in the book, and the lateral femoral cutaneous, different positions for that. That's all under femoral nerve stretch. By far, the most common thing you're going to do is to restore glide and normal function to the sciatic.